Welcome into this quiet space. As always, it's a privilege to share it with you. Sometimes I try to imagine who might be listening and where you are when you listen. Well, wherever you are, I ask that God will be with you and bless you with his presence in this very moment. Paul and I are fans of a television programme set on a sheep farm in the middle of a remote Yorkshire moor. The programme follows the life of the 11-strong Owen family, Dad Clive, Mum Amanda and their 9 children. The eldest daughter Raven has gone to university to study medicine, and eldest son Reuben has started an apprenticeship in mechanical engineering. It's become apparent over several series that Reuben is capable of mending almost any type of broken machinery or making practical things out of odds and ends. In an earlier series, we saw Reuben, closely shadowed by little brother Sidney, tackle tasks and encourage Sidney to learn from what he was watching him do. Sometimes Reuben would let him help. It wasn't any real surprise then, in a recent episode, to see 8-year-old Sidney mending the chain on his little sister's bike, a task that many adults couldn't complete. Every programme shows skills being demonstrated and passed on, the littlest children undertaking tasks that they've watched their parents and older siblings doing. In a way, living out what they are witnessing day by day. It reminded me of verses we find in Psalm 145. I will exalt you, my God and King, and praise your name forever and ever. I will praise you every day. Yes, I will praise you forever. Great is the Lord. He is most worthy of praise. No one can measure his greatness. Let each generation tell its children of your mighty acts. Let them proclaim your power. In our recent shared devotional time, Paul and I were encouraged to consider the legacy that we'll leave behind when we die. We've done the sensible thing and made wills regarding our earthly possessions, but our spiritual legacy is something we will probably never truly know the worth of, but, please God, will be a blessing to our children and their children and future generations. The devotional guide suggested that we all mostly influence 2 generations, our children's and grandchildren's. However, a godly life will leave an eternal legacy. Not all of you listening to this reflection will have children of your own, but that doesn't mean you have no spiritual influence on other people. Within the Christian church, many of us have had our lives enhanced by the influence of someone who's not a member of our family. Some of you may be the recipients of many generations of godly influence upon your lives, whilst others of you may be that first generation. I ask that God will bless you abundantly as you live your life for Christ each day. There will be those of you listening who are saddened by your children's apparent lack of Christian faith and wonder where you've gone wrong. Please don't give up praying for your children and the generations to come. I believe passionately that no prayer goes unheard. You might like to take a moment to thank God for those who've had a godly influence upon your life. You are part of their kingdom legacy. Take another moment to think of those you know who you have kingdom influence over. Ask God to keep you faithful and consistent in that privilege. It's part of your legacy. In Psalm 78 we read, "We will not hide these truths from our children. We will tell the next generation about the glorious deeds of the Lord, about his power and his mighty wonders. He commanded our ancestors to teach them to their children, so the next generation might know them, even the children not yet born, and they in turn will teach their own children. So each generation should set its hope anew on God. Dear Lord, in your grace may this be so.